This episode of Rippy 477 is brought to you by Eggbusters, the show with this dude and sometimes this girl, and they talk about glitches, or mostly he does. It is totally awesome and you are by now obligated to watch this. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rippy 477. The 3DS. I have the limited edition Zelda version. Now, it sold like crap in the beginning, and by now it's doing extremely well. I think it's like the most selling handheld console thingy out of everything that's out right now. And everybody I talk with, let's say like not everybody, it's kind of overkill. Let's say 10% of everybody I've ever talked with, be it on forums, on Miiverse, my friends, people I have linked with and played with over the world. Only like 10% of them use the 3D effect of the 3DS, which is kind of funny because everybody was laughing when the 2DS was released and everybody was like, why would you buy that? But apparently nobody even is using the 3D effect. But I am. I have it on non-stop, like 90% of the time. All these percentages, like 90% of the time. Sometimes I'm doing two things at the same time, so I prefer having it off because else it's a bit awkward switching it because you kind of have to like position it right. But in general, I always have it on. So I wanted to show you guys like 2 or 3 games that are excellent with the 3D effect. Now, you first have to know something. There's 2 types of games. I don't know if a lot of people realize this, and I don't see anybody ever mentioning it, but there's 2 types of games. There's the game that when you switch it on, this is the most 3D games, you switch it on and the pixels split gradually. So the more you flip the more you flip the switch, like the higher you go with it, the sliding thingy, the more you slide and gradually the pixels are spread. Which the better games use that 3D effect is usually the one that creates the most depth and the widest view. And then you have the other games such as, do I have an example of that right now here? Quickly by hand. No, but most indie games, for example, I think the fuck, what was it called? The mud spuds thingy with the blonde guy with the glasses. I'll have a picture here. This one uses it, for example, I think, actually. No, I'm not sure. But the other effect is the splitting effect. Wait, I have a game that does it. I was going to show this as an example. Pokemon Y has this, which is when it doesn't go gradually, but basically you flip it and immediately it goes to a fixed setting of what you want. And those are usually the games that have layers of depth. See, the sliding one usually creates gradual depth. I'm so sounding like a retard, but I'm going to continue. And the flipping one, it creates layers, set layers, so you cannot switch it. It's either on or off. So I just wanted to talk about a few good games and bad games that use these effects. And since I showed Pokemon, I'll start with saying this. Pokemon Y has the worst 3D effect. Now, in the overworld, you have like no 3D effect in Pokemon. I have no idea why they did that. Maybe because more kids were playing this, so they wanted to avoid some shit. Because if you're too young, then the 3D effect isn't really good for you, or something like that. Pokemon, like I said, it uses, like, you switch it on and it flips it. And in the overworld, there's no, and I was hoping, that's what I was waiting for this game. It's in 3D, pseudo 3D. And it doesn't use the 3D effect of the 3DS. It's one of the major titles. I mean, you released the 2DS anyway, so why not just give people the option? And not only do you not have the 3D effect in the overworld, you only have it in the battles. And even in the battles, the second you get multiple enemies, it doesn't work either. So only when you have 1 versus 1, the 3D effect works. And then it switches. And you might as well not have it on. I don't understand why they put it in there. There's no depth, there's nothing that stands out. This worst 3D effect, definitely Pokemon Y. Now, I have 3 games here that have excellent 3D effect for people like me who care about that. First, I don't want to talk too much about all of these, but I'll give an honorable mention quickly to one of the three, which is I think Between Worlds. That took a while. And I love the top-down shit was so perfect for this, and they really utilize it well. You have layers in the dungeons when you look down, and you have attacks with the flames that go up to the screen, and certain effect make Link fly up, and it also creates this beautiful effect. It's a very, very nice example of this, but it's not the best, but it's an honorable mention. So the two best ones, so now take in account I don't have a gazillion 3DS games, I'm not a millionaire, I have like a double dozen or something like that. But the two best ones in my opinion are, first case is Animal Crossing, and actually I have this on, I can show you guys what I mean with the sliding thingy again. I should not have closed this, okay. I don't know how well this is gonna translate on screen. So basically, what's the switch here? Fuck, what's on the TV? Okay, so the more you, okay, there you go, slide it, you can actually see it gradually move. If you see the distance between that tree and the house, it's gonna increase or decrease, whatever. So you see it gradually the more I flip it. And that's what I mean. When you talk about the 3D effect, which is Animal Crossing is a nice example of it. It's not like all of a sudden virtual reality you in the game, It's nothing like that. But Animal Crossing especially, because the world turns and it really makes you feel a bit like you're in it. But the biggest thing it does is it upgrades the graphics. In my opinion, that's how I see it, because the way, what it does, it separates every object from each other. It creates this depth. Usually when you have it off, this is this uniform kind of image. But when you turn on the 3D effect, it actually separates objects. It's weird to explain, but if you've used it in a lot of games, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yes, one of the best is Animal Crossing, because it gives distance and depth to your rooms. It really makes every object stand out, and especially in the overworld when you have the revolve, because it works like Animal Crossing, you have a revolving world. It really works very well because you have the buildings that pass by you and the trees pass by you. It's very nicely done. The best game in my opinion for the 3D effect, if you like using it, without a doubt, is Bravely Default. With Bravely Default, it's, to start off, you have the overworld, and it has the same kind of effect like Animal Crossing because it's slightly revolving, so it creates this beautiful depth in the overworld already. Then you have the menu systems where some of the screens are separated from each other in like the layer kind of way, like I've been saying. It really uses all of it. And you have the characters, you can put your character on, which is the same that Animal Crossing does when you have the fish, for example. In Animal Crossing, when you look at your fish or your bugs or your items, it nicely separates them in the depth when it turns around. It really feels like you're looking at it from all angles, which is what Bravely Default does. When you look at your characters in the menu, when you change their job skills or equipment and you turn the character around, it really does it very, very nicely. And when you have sequences where the characters talk, you have the background. Goddamn, this game has such beautiful backgrounds, it's insane. And basically it puts the background image there, and then you have the characters in a 3D effect layer in the front of it, talking with each other. So it makes, usually it's like I said, they're stuck to each other, but it really makes it step out a bit. It's very good. But the best shit about this is in the battles, because your characters are in a row. When you turn it on, they get like separated again, and the background levels actually start to create this wide depth. I'm moving all this shit, you guys don't understand what I mean, but like I said, it creates this actual depth in the level, and not just layers, but it actually creates a vision of depth, which makes the battlefield look very big. Because when you don't use the 3D effect, it's like a flat thingy, but it creates a very big field when you use it in the battle system. when you're fighting, and that's why Bravely Default definitely has the best 3D effect. This somehow feels like it's a video about nothing.
Just talking? What's the show about?
It's about nothing.
No story?
No, forget the story.
You gotta have a story.
Who says you gotta have a story?
Because I talk and I say shit, but people who don't use the 3D effect won't really know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm telling you, use 3D effect more of this. It's definitely worth it. It's such an awesome effect. And like I said, personally, in most cases, because it slightly separates objects from each other, it creates a better graphical style. Instead of having a contour around everything, it creates separate contours around the items. And I should stop talking. This video makes no sense. Like I said, the worst 3D effect is Pokemon because it basically has none. I'll just throw that game on the floor there. Zelda, highly recommend it. It really uses it very nicely. It did exactly what I hoped it would do. And like I said, the best 2 3D effects if you like it, that kind of stuff. Animal Crossing, New Leaf, and Bravely Default. Just test it out here and there. Even if you don't always use it, just here and there, try it out, you know. That's it for this episode. I hope you guys liked it. Well, episode, I don't know. And, you know, play some 3D. Stay real. I should not have left this game on as I was recording this video.